monologue. I appreciate it. Well, California cities and counties and the state of California are on red alert about how they're going to pay for their pension obligations. And it's no surprise, considering the most vulnerable cities are really testing what's going to happen with CalPERS. That'd be the city of Stockton, the city of San Bernardino, and now the city of Compton. Now, for the cities and counties in California and the state of California and public sector employee organizations, this is not a political question. This is not a political issue. It's a math issue. It's a simple matter of dollars and cents. The state of California alone has an actuarial base $225 billion, that's with a B, $billion pension obligation. This year alone, it will spend $9.6 billion in 2012 on its pension and retiree health care obligations. That's up from $2.7 billion just less than 10 years ago. That's a 2.5 times increase in less than a decade. How does that happen? Worse yet, for many cities and counties in California, they spend more than a third, and sometimes pushing half, of their budgets on their pension obligations and their retiree medical obligations. Now, what does that do? That means they don't have money to hire staff, they're inadequately staffed, they don't have enough firefighters on fire engines, they don't have enough police officers on the streets, they don't have enough teachers in the classrooms, and they can't pay those employees a fair and adequate wage, and those employees don't have any prospect of getting paid increases. Also, cities and counties can't do any programs that are essential for their purpose, for why they exist, because they spend so much money on their pension obligations and their retiree medical obligation. So who's the real culprit here? How did this happen? I'm telling you who the culprit is. It's CalPERS. CalPERS is where this all started. So of course you're asking, what did CalPERS ever do to me? What did they do? They're our pension fund. They take care of us. Well, first understand, CalPERS is the biggest public sector pension fund in the world, I believe, and it's closely followed by all its cousins here in California, like CalSTRS and all the 1937 Act retirement systems, and then the independent retirement system. So CalPERS leads the way. And what CalPERS did about 10 years ago, it helped create these enhanced pension benefits. It helped write the legislation that allowed them to be moved into law, but mainly it said they were affordable and they were sustainable. That was the first thing CalPERS did. CalPERS also failed to take into account that people are living a long time now. That longevity has greatly increased, and many people, and we're talking about spouses, it only takes one spouse to have to go the distance. CalPERS has to pay for many people who reach their mid-80s, late 80s, well into their 90s even. People aren't dying at age 72 anymore, CalPERS, I hate to tell you. Lastly, what CalPERS has failed to deliver on big time is they failed to get an adequate investment return. They're too big. They can't do it. They assumed for years that they were going to be able to receive a 7.7% annual rate of return on their investments. Many years they don't hit that. They're not even close. They recently reduced that to 7.5%, but still, the last 2 years they've gotten 1%, sometimes even less. And what do they do when they don't hit their mark on investment returns? They go right back to the city, right back to the counties or the state of California that contract with them and say, pay up. They're like the mafia. They say, give me my money, pay up. Now, out of pure financial necessity, certain government entities are starting to challenge the CalPERS authority. The city of Stockton filed for bankruptcy protection. That's been much publicized. And in its bankruptcy plan, it weekly submitted a bankruptcy plan that called for a zero haircut to its pension obligations, its retirees, or its current employees with retirement benefits. The bondholders and the insurance companies for the bondholders have objected strenuously, and it appears the bankruptcy judge in that case may be sympathetic. The bankruptcy judge may not just sit there and say, yes, I will require the bondholders to take a 100% haircut, while retirees and CalPERS, you take a zero. That may not happen. Other things are happening out there. The city of San Bernardino, which earlier this year filed for bankruptcy protection as well, stopped paying CalPERS. CalPERS is freaked out. They're threatening all types of legal action, in fact have taken legal action to try to compel the city of San Bernardino to pay up. And CalPERS' position is you have to pay us before you eat. You have to pay us before any other obligation. The city of San Bernardino's response is we simply don't have the money. We can't do it. It's a math problem. It's not a political problem. It's a math problem. And then most recently, the city of Compton, who has not yet, although they're on the verge, from what I hear, has not yet filed for bankruptcy protection, has stopped paying CalPERS at least part of its obligation. CalPERS' reaction, predictably, was the same. Dogmatic, authoritarian, Politburo, Gestapo-oriented to slam the city of Compton and insist that they pay, that the city of Compton has to pay CalPERS no matter what. The city of Compton's response was, it's a math problem. We just don't have the money. We have to put cops on the street. We have to provide certain fundamental services. We don't have the money. CalPERS' response is, we don't care. So where's this all going to shake out? Well, our interest is, with our clients, is to make sure there's enough money in the cities and counties and the special districts in the state where we work to pay our members, to hire new members, to adequately staff our members so they can do their jobs safely. Who's going to ultimately decide the strength and authority of CalPERS? Well, it may be the bankruptcy judges that are involved in this. There may come down decisions from the bankruptcy judges that undermine, maybe severely undermine, the strength and position of CalPERS. It may put them in line as being a creditor just like every other creditor. Maybe with some priority, maybe not. But that could give the cities and counties and the state of California some guidance as how they proceed and how they plan in the future with respect to this ever-growing pension and retiree health care obligation that they face.